Good evening, Jared and Lori.
Hi, Rob. How are you doing?
I'm well, and
Hey
yourself?
Rob, how are you?
I'm good, Lori. Thank you.
Good,
How are you
thank you.
doing? You're doing well. Good. So I know we've had some back and forth about this project, and we have made some really good progress um, coming up onto this meeting, and so I'm really happy with the progress everybody's made, and I wanted to just take a minute to talk about what's going on. We're all really busy, so I thought we could take a couple minutes and just talk about what's coming right up around the corner, and everybody's travel plans for Thanksgiving. So,
All right. Well, I am not going anywhere because I will be holding a brand new baby girl who's going to be arriving in 2 weeks from today. So I got my hands full, that's for sure.
that's awesome, Jared. And Lori?
Congratulations on that, Jared.
Thank
Yes.
you.
For me, not traveling. I'm staying home, cooking for everybody, and I won't be out on Black Friday.
Likewise here, Lori. We're going to have a house full as well. So that's great. So in an effort to kind of keep things moving along, I know we're all busy today. I wanted to make sure that everybody got the agenda that I sent out ahead of time.
Did-
I did, thank you.
You're welcome. So moving right through, the next agenda item was to discuss the previous team meeting, kind of review where we were at. But before we did that, I just wanted to mention the email critiques that we each did after the last team meeting. And I just wanted to say thank you for the thoughtful feedback. As somebody who struggled with a previous boss who only provided negative feedback, I really liked the fact that you guys both had some positive things to say. And I can appreciate a thoughtful critique anytime.
Yeah, I
Likewise
agree
here.
with that. Yeah, I really appreciate it. You guys have been great to work with.
Yeah, I really feel like we've been a great team. It's been fun. It's been enjoyable. And I really feel like I was blessed with finding two motivated teammates. I was really sort of dreading doing this team thing, and you guys have been fantastic to work with.
Yep, I agree.
Definitely, it's made it a lot easier.
Yep.
Well, that's good. I'm glad we're in consensus on something. So, the next thing I wanted to talk about regarding the last meeting was how we had come up, or the three ideas that we had presented to Fred and Carrie. I just wanted to summarize them real quick. We had the first idea was what I kind of labeled a construction idea, which was to add the interior wall with the window separating the cafe and the laundromat, and also adding a separate entrance door so that people could either enter the cafe directly or the laundromat directly. It included some ideas on moving seating around inside the laundromat, and also, if needed, changing the table design from square tables to round tables. That way people couldn't push the tables together and make a big space. Does that sum up pretty much what that idea was?
Yep. Yeah, it does.
Yes.
Okay, great. The next idea that we presented to Fred and Carrie was to add additional seating outside for seasonal influx of tourists to the Portland area. Again, I think that's a feasible solution for them. Definitely is a seasonal item, though. Laurie, you had mentioned previously that we had concerns with the weather and the time of the year, so that's still in play. Does everybody agree with that?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I am in agreement with that.
Yes.
An idea that I had for that was, could we maybe purchase some outdoor heaters to extend that period of time?
I definitely think we could, Jared. It would be just probably a few weeks to a month on each end of the season.
Okay.
Lori, what do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely, I think, something we need to talk about as we figure out where we want to go with this. Yep, definitely.
Okay, great. So I'm going to just go ahead and make a note of that. So the last item that we had presented to Fred and Carrie was sort of a marketing blitz, running promotions to try to drive customers to D&D, to Drip and Dry during the off-peak hours, because they're really struggling during these two windows of time, at lunchtime and again in the evening. And so using maybe an ad campaign or coupons, we could try to get some customers there at times they wouldn't normally be there. And
Right.
that idea also included signage added in the facility that would encourage people to kind of be attentive to their laundry and things like that. Does that cover it?
Yeah. Yep. It does. And I have a couple ideas for that when we get to that point as well. We could talk about that.
Okay. So I think that sort of sums up. I want to say thank you to Lori. You did a fantastic job with the memo to Carrie and Fred.
Yes.
Really was nicely written. Did a great job of outlining our process, outlining Fred and Carrie's problems, and again, coming up, kind of summarizing our solutions for them. So thanks for taking care of that, and letting Jared and I have a say in how it was written.
You're welcome, and thanks for the input. I think that's what completed it. So team effort.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Great.
Okay, so moving right along, and this is sort of the crux of why we're here tonight. We have presented to Fred and Carrie 3 different solutions, and we need to narrow it down. They've outlined a budget for us, $38,000. We know we need to stick within that budget amount. So I kind of want to throw it out there for discussion. I don't have a real idea. I'm not leaning heavily in one way or the other. I know that I have some ideas about all 3 of these solutions.
Yeah, I think the big problem that we're having with Drip and Dry is the fact that they're at mass capacity during lunch and during dinner. We need to come up with a way that we can spread that out more. I mean, max capacity is okay if we have the room. And I think that's why we're talking about the construction part of it. So it's going to be tough, but to me, like all 3, I mean, it seems like all 3 of these ideas, we need to somehow implement them somehow to try to figure out a way to manage this better.
Lori, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I think we were all in consensus that the biggest problem is the overcrowding during the peak times, the noise levels, because you have 2 different environments. You have a cafe environment, you have a laundry environment. So, the construction things, my thought, are something that we may need to put future for Drip and Dry, the outdoor seating area, possibly later on, building a wall maybe later on. In looking at all of our options, to me, the advertising blitz, as well as Jared's suggestion to add the second cash register, because I don't think we discussed that. But if you were to add the second cash register along with the advertising blitz and the coupons in that, it gives us the ability to to deal with the long lines and overcrowding.
During the peak
coupons,
hours.
Yeah, it gives us the ability to shift away from the peak hours. And where that would be less expensive on the budget, I guess one of my other thoughts was we could still include the acoustic noise panels because they're not that expensive. So we could use that to deviate away from the noise level as well.
So
Sure.
I think what I'm hearing is that there maybe we want to consider some aspects of all three of these solutions.
I think so.
Jared, do you think that as well, that we could maybe, if we pick these apart just a little bit, maybe we could implement some, if not all
I think
pieces of it?
I think we could probably do that, especially since Lori said she had a good idea of just doing the noise canceling walls that aren't that expensive. That's going to eliminate a lot of the money from the construction that we can put towards the seating. As far as the promotions, this happened to me today. Went to Subway for lunch, and at the bottom of my receipt there was a coupon. So if there's a way we could put the coupons for the promotions on the bottom of receipts, and we can maybe do it's a buy one get one free or whatever they come up with, but it's during a certain time frame.
Right.
It's going to be it's not going to be during lunch hours. It's going to be from noon to 3 or 8 to closing.
So I'd like to maybe kind of circle back to the construction for just a second. If we picked apart that construction idea, because it was sort of it was a big idea, for lack of a better term, where we had suggested a second entrance, adding an interior wall, which would include an interior door, the noise canceling, the moving of the tables, etc. Maybe if we kind of scaled that back a little bit, and I'm just throwing this out here, I definitely want to hear what you guys have to think about this. But if we scaled that back and we didn't do the separate entrance, but we did kind of focus on the less expensive interior wall and the noise canceling acoustic tiles, maybe we could do all three of these just on a little bit of a scaled back level. I really like the idea of marketing and driving the non-peak hours. I like the idea of the seasonal outdoor seating, and maybe that could incorporate taking some of the existing tables and just moving them outside in the summertime, thus freeing up some space inside. But I like the idea of the acoustic tiles that Lori brought up. So what do you think of scaling back the construction idea to buy us a little bit of money in the budget and think about doing some aspects of all three of them?
I agree with that. I think they're all important, and we need to try to encompass all of them.
And Lori, thank you for mentioning the cash register idea. I know we kind of left that out in some of our discussions, and I do think adding a second cash register is an inexpensive solution to help with the lines even during those peak times. So I'd like to see that get incorporated in our final solution.
And I agree. I think we can do it by like you said, scale it back and incorporating components of each to give us the best probable solution for drip and dry and what they need.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if we were to do this in a kind of top-down order, so let's take the construction idea first. What do you guys feel is the most important aspect of that solution to hang on to?
Probably the noise cancellation walls.
So those tiles?
The tiles, it's going to separate. It's going to give you two separate feelings, and it's also going to knock the noise down.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a cost-effective way of doing it.
Okay. So, so maybe we'll nix the idea of the second entrance.
Okay.
And so am I hearing, do we all agree that we want to do the acoustic tiles?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody disagree with that idea?
Nope.
All right. So we have a consensus. We're going to do the acoustic tiles as part of our solution.
Yep.
Definitely.
Okay. Great. Now, what about the interior wall?
Lori, and Rob, how big are those acoustic tiles?
You can get them anywhere from a foot by a foot to the
Okay.
size of a wall mirror. So
Okay.
it varies.
Yeah.
Okay. What if we just used those as like a 3/4 wall for now, or
Well, you need to
a
have something to attach them to, Jared. The way that they go up is they
Okay,
sit,
they're not freestanding.
right.
No, they anchor in.
Okay.
I do like the idea of the wall, though. I think that giving some separation to the two pieces of the business could be doable. Maybe we don't need to do the door. I like the idea of a half wall or a 3/4 wall, Jared, like you just mentioned, and you could still apply those acoustic tiles to it because I think, Lori, if I'm not mistaken, the way that those work is it deadens the sound as it bounces off of them.
Correct.
So they would still be at least partially effective. Maybe we could add a partial wall just for separation to give that kind of visual feel of separating the two aspects of the business. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think if we did, even a half wall, it's going to be from the people inside of the coffee shop. They're going to be sitting, most likely they're going to be sitting down. So they're going to be below a half wall anyways. So that sound from the laundromat probably isn't going to interfere with them, and vice versa.
Lori, do you agree?
I do agree with that. If we can get a half wall in there within our budget, I think it needs to happen.
Okay. So I'm going to put that. All right, great. So let's see. Now we need to check in with Fred and Carrie about their current table situation. So I don't recall if they have square tables or round tables currently. If they have round tables, we can take that right off of our plate. If they have square tables, we'd have to address it, I think, because we want to discourage people from kind of congregating and taking up a lot of space.
Right. Well, how about what if we just purchase? Let's say they have square tables.
Okay.
What if we were to purchase 4 round tables? That would give us, 4 extra tables from what they have. And during those summer months, if we want to incorporate the outdoor seating, we can move the square tables outside, put them up against the building, and we can keep the round ones inside of the cafe. And even if they have round tables, we can, we still have those tables that we can move outside as well.
I like that idea, Jared. Lori, what do you think?
I think that's a good compromise. We definitely need the round tables to deal with the Wi-Fi squatter area.
Yeah.
That was our mindset on it. So you make it round so they can't put 2 tables together. They can't congregate. It kind of keeps moving. So yeah, spot on with Jared there that we want to get at least 4 to do so that multiple options as to what we can do with them.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're going to agree on 4 tables?
Yeah, round tables.
Yeah.
Anybody have any concerns about that at all?
Mm-mm.
All right, so we have a consensus
Nope.
on 4 tables then.
Yep.
Okay. great. And those would be multi-use. I like the idea of being able to move them outside. So that sort of
Right.
tackles our second idea also.
Correct.
So that brings us down to our marketing blitz. What do you guys think is the best way? I like, Jared, I like your idea on the coupons printed on the bottom of the cash register receipts. That's definitely doable.
What if we were to, man, I just don't know. We got to figure out a way with the Wi-Fi. If that's even a problem for us. Are we in agreement that the Wi-Fi squatters is a problem, or are we just kind of, since they're purchasing drinks, it is what it is, we have more tables?
Well, that's a good point, because it is something that we've talked about, and we kind of agreed that it needed to be dealt with. If we can move the business around so it's steadier throughout the day, maybe we need to leave the Wi-Fi open to the public.
Yeah. Otherwise, I was going to say we could kind of do the same thing that I mentioned with the coupons on the bottom of the receipts, and that's just maybe put a Wi-Fi password that's good for an hour or an hour and a half. But then now we're getting into some sort of a computer program that I don't know how much is going to cost.
Yeah.
To rotate that Wi-Fi password. So, I think it's probably good just to leave it open, and that's just a service that we provide for the customers.
Lori, what do you think of that idea?
I agree. We leave it open at this point because I think by shifting the setup, putting the half wall, changing those tables out, we're going to be diverting them away from wanting to sit there all day. So,
right.
Those subtle changes I think are going to have a huge impact on what's going on inside.
And we certainly don't want to lose business to, the Starbuckses and other businesses that allow those free Wi-Fi.
Right.
So,
right.
And like I mentioned, I think if we can get more people in there steadier throughout the day, that will alleviate some of that squatting and kind of the overcrowding they're experiencing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna agree that the Wi-Fi stays open to the public with no password protection.
Yep. Yeah. So we'll just go ahead and just leave that off of the change.
Okay. Great. I'll make a note about that. Okay. So back to the marketing. The ideas that we've kind of put out there is the promotion with the coupons, and I think we might be able to run some radio advertisements with specials like come between. I think we mentioned come in the morning and have a coffee and a Danish and do your laundry for $3.99 or something like that.
Right. Yeah. We need to focus on non-peak hours for our promotions.
Okay.
Right. And I think we don't want to miss out here on the portability of cell phones. So, we have a social media site. Drip and Dry has their own website. So I think we need to utilize that so somebody could come in with their cell phone and scan the coupon as well.
Okay. I think that's a great idea, Lori. Okay. So we're going to agree about self-promotion. What do we think of running radio promotions?
I think that's fine. Do we have a cost on airtime?
I know
I've seen it. I don't know.
I know TV is going to be out of reach for us.
Yeah.
But radio, a radio advertisement, as I recall, running was not overly expensive. But, we don't have to use the radio either. What about just doing printed flyers that could be posted up on bulletin boards with coupons attached to them?
Yeah.
Around town.
Yeah, I like that. So I have the radio ads here, and it's $3,000 a week. it's $2,000 a week to run it
For a radio ad.
for
So maybe
radio
that's
ad.
okay. I think the print ads then maybe is the way to go. Lori,
Yeah, that's we can get a $1,000 will get us 10,000 paper flyers.
okay, that's significant.
Right. Okay,
Yeah,
but
especially with the colleges by us.
correct. So one of my thoughts on that is radio advertising is expensive. However, let's utilize our PR team for Drip and Dry and those managers. And I think in contacting maybe local media and radio stations saying that we're running these promotions, we can get them to actually advertise for us free.
So you think maybe like giving them some coupons to give out as, like a free wash with your whatever. If you, I don't know.
I think Lori, I think you're kind of on the right track there. Is get the radio stations involved. You can have their vans or their truck come to Drip and Dry. They set up their speakers. They have balloons. They have it's a promotional thing. That's something that we could look into.
I like that idea.
Well. And it's not a constant ad on air. It's just Saturday afternoon, Saturday morning thing, and it would get the word out there.
I think that's a fantastic idea. So we're gonna. Do we all agree that that's a good idea? We'll have the PR team talk to local media and see if we can get some cost-free publicity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do we have any concerns about that? Does anybody,
No.
Okay. So we have a consensus then that we're going to task the PR folks with getting in touch with the local media then. Great.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else we want to add into our marketing blitz? So we've got coupons, we've got self-promotion via our social media sites, we've got the PR team, cash register receipt coupons, and we've got the printed flyers.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Yeah, okay. I think that's definitely like a media blitz to get it all done and really push for the things we're trying to accomplish.
Okay, great. Does anybody have anything they want to add to our kind of now combined plan for Drip and Dry?
I can't think of anything. I think we've hit on everything that's important for Drip and Dry's success.
Lori?
I don't think we talked about, well, we spoke a little bit about adding that second cash register. I think that's an important component here to take care of, the backup in the lines and people trying to get in.
Yeah, I have it on the list as part of our plan, actually.
Perfect.
Okay, so we're going to all agree that the second cash register is a must-have item for Fred and Carrie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yes.
I definitely agree, Lori. It's going to help with their peak time issues, just moving people through the lines quicker. Okay, so the next part of this is how are we going to implement this plan? We have a little bit of construction that we need to do. We definitely need to work with the marketing folks. What do you guys think is the way to go about this?
Well, I think we probably need to start with obviously getting a few bids for that half wall. I know that as far as the acoustic panels, Lori, you might be able to steer us in the direction of a place to get those, possibly purchasing them through where you work, maybe get a discount on those. But I think, we obviously need to start with the bids for the half wall.
Okay. So can we all agree that the first step in this is to finish pricing everything out? So we need a bid on the wall. We need to price out the cash register. We already have a good idea about some of the PR materials. We need to talk to our cash register folks while they're while we're talking with them about the cash register, we need to talk about how we get the coupons to print on the receipts.
Right.
So we need to price it all out.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I think it's important to look for our tables. I think it's important to look at quality. You guys mentioned it gets pretty darn cold over there, and it goes with that saying, you get what you pay for. So, I think maybe we need to just look at, different, whether it's going to be plastic tables or some, iron tables or something like that. Just kind of, get a couple different prices, and we can kind of decide on what would be best and what would last longer for drip and dry.
Okay. I agree with that statement, Jared. I think we're looking for, we don't want to go overly inexpensive. So something that's going to be something that's going to last for them.
Correct. Yeah.
Through all the seasons. Lori, do you agree with that?
I agree with that.
Okay, great. So once we've priced it all out, and at this point, I think we can work under the assumption that we're going to come in under our $38,000 budget.
Yeah.
What would you see as the next step for implementation?
Well, obviously we got to get the wall built. So I mean, everything. I mean, I don't foresee what we have come up with to take very long.
I agree. I agree with that, Jared. I think that the first step, and before we do any promotions at all, would be to do the construction,
right,
and to add that second cash register.
Right. Yep. Yeah. I think we need to get ready for what our promotions are going to bring to us.
Does that sound good to you, Lori?
It definitely does. So, we need to wait until we've got the furniture rearranged the way that we're looking at.
Okay,
and then I think everything else falls into line after that. The panels, flyers, the advertising.
That's a great point, Lori. So the order that I have it in, obviously, so far is price it, construct it, get the cash register in, get the new furniture in and rearranged, and then the acoustic panels would be number 5.
Yep.
And I don't see any of this. This is, this might be, you might be able to do some of this construction without closing, because this isn't completely intrusive. We could probably do this. In the, I don't know if we're, if we get somebody that's maybe willing to do some of this during our, at night, in the evening after our peak hours kind of die down, we might be able to get some of this construction done that way and not really have an overall impact on the business.
Yeah, I would think that we could probably get this half wall built in one business day.
I think that's probably the case, Jared. Maybe take a little time for finish and paint, but the actual intrusiveness of the construction could be completed rather quickly.
Yeah.
Lauren, do you think that that's the case?
Oh, that's definitely the case. I mean, it's not going to take them long to put this together. It's a half wall, so
and it's floating.
We're not worrying. We're not worrying about load bearing. We're not worried about beams, and so it should be a quick process.
Okay, great. Any other thoughts on construction pieces before we do any promotions?
Nope, I don't think so.
Okay, so steps 1 through 5, just to review one more time. Price it out, bids, construction of the wall, get the cash register in, get the furniture ordered, get the acoustic tiles installed. Again, none of these are overly intrusive things, so we're going to try to keep drip and dry open throughout the process. Is that what we all are agreeing to?
Yep.
Yes.
Sure is.
Okay. Any changes to that or concerns, anybody?
Nope.
Okay, so we have a consensus about the first 5 steps of this. And then I think the next thing would be to begin the promotions. How does that sound?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think at that point we can, Fred and Carrie can probably do some self-promoting through their social media. We can
Sure.
start handing out flyers. We can update the cash register and do all of that with and print off some coupons to promote the non-peak hour specials.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So
Yep.
no changes.
No changes.
You
Nope.
guys are being way too nice to me here.
We're making it way too easy.
Okay. Okay, so let the promotion begin when the construction is done. That's sort of where we're at this point.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the last thing is to decide how we are going to determine if our changes at Drip and Dry are successful. So do you guys have some thoughts on that?
Drip and Dry has done a survey before, which is why we are talking about this right now.
Right.
I think once we get all this stuff up and running, I think it would be a good idea to run another survey for the customers and our new customers.
Okay. Lori?
I definitely agree with that. I mean, who better to tell us what their experience is than the customers?
Okay, so we're going to agree to do a follow-up customer survey then once all the changes. How much time do you think would be a reasonable amount of time to give people to experience Drip and Dry? Do you think 30 days, 60 days, 90 days?
I like
You think 30 days?
I like 30 days.
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay, so once the changes are completed and the promoting has begun, we'll give it 30 days and start another a survey window for customers. And how long would you like the survey to run? Do you think a week is enough?
I think you want to run it out 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know when I was in an apartment that I didn't do my laundry every week. So
Yeah.
maybe that 2-week run, that's probably not a bad idea.
I definitely agree with 2 weeks, and I just have one more thought to add to that, because I
Okay.
don't know about you guys, but I work in an environment where it's surveys for everything. So half the time you don't even open the surveys anymore. So what if while we're also doing the promotion, we kind of let them know that when the survey comes out, we're going to pick a winner
Oh,
out of all the surveys that get returned.
Ooh, I like it.
I like that idea, Lori. That's a great idea.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
Turn your surveys into a ballot box.
There we go.
So how about what would be our prize then? Like $100 worth of laundry coupons or something? Laundry services?
Yeah, we could do that.
Or a $100 gift certificate to Drip and Dry.
There you go. Yeah, let's do a $100 gift certificate to either or.
Yeah, they can use it for a combination of both. Yep,
Yep.
Okay.
absolutely.
I like this idea. That's great.
Yeah, I do too.
I think I want to add one other thing, and this is a self-determining thing. I'd like to get you guys' input on it. If we should be able to tell from cash register receipts if we are spreading our business throughout the day better. And I think that that's an important thing. We want to, not just focus on, definitely we want to make happy customers, but if we can get more customers in the door throughout the day, I think that that's a good criteria to measure also. So if we're seeing an increase in business during our current off-peak hours, that would be something we would want to measure.
Yeah.
Definitely. I agree.
Okay. So I think we have two really good criteria. So we're going to do a survey and look for positive feedback from our customers. And then of all the return surveys, if they choose to include their name and contact information, we'll choose a $100 winner for a gift certificate to Drip and Dry. And we're also going to examine our cash register receipts and get an idea of whether or not customers are coming in during off-peak hours. current off-peak hours. Does everybody agree to that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Sounds
great.
good.
Thanks, Lori. So that's, I think, the bulk of what we really needed to get through tonight. I'm going to put this all together. I'll email it to you guys in sort of a bullet list of what we decided on. But the next thing that we need to do is create a presentation for Fred and Carrie, which kind of outlines everything that we've discussed this evening. And and in fact, actually, not just this evening, but in the previous 2 meetings as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know if you wanted to tackle it as a group. Do you want to divide it up into tasks and create the meeting, create the slide deck that way? Or I like working with PowerPoint. I'd be happy to create the slide deck and then send it out like we kind of did with your memo, Lori, for group input. I'm willing to take that on. If that's the way you want to do it, I can work with our notes from all 3 meetings and kind of pull that together into a few slides.
Yeah, I mean, that works for me. The only thing that I'm not sure of is how, I guess if you wanted to, Rob, if you wanted to start it, get some information in there, send it off to Lori and I, if, we just need to make sure that whoever's making the adjustments, we're working off of one
Absolutely.
one PowerPoint. So, I don't know actually the best way of going about, doing it.
I'm not comfortable with the Google Docs version of doing slide decks.
Yeah.
Do you guys both use PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I use an old version of it. I use, God bless, I'm still running 2003 on my laptop. So I think compatibility shouldn't be an issue.
Okay.
So if you don't mind, I'll start putting that together. It's going to take me a day or 2 to kind of tie all this up into a presentation. But I can kind of get an outline going and then send it off for input. And if there are changes or additions, or if I missed anything, I'd be happy to make changes, or whomever can make changes to my slides. But like you said, Jared, it's going to be important that we're not all changing it at one time. So I'd like to sort of have a formal process of a check it out. Like, hey, I'm done.
I think what we need to do is, Rob, you can send that to Lori and I, but I think ultimately you should be the one to make the changes if we have something that we want fixed or added. That way there's only one hand in the pot working on one PowerPoint. We can give you feedback in our emails, but I just foresee some issues if I'm working on your PowerPoint that you emailed to me and Lori's working on one that you sent to her.
I'm agreeable to that if Lori is.
He actually, Jared, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say, because we do these at work. So one of the things we do is there's a key point for the PowerPoint. So that's going to be you, Rob. Yeah. And it'd be something as simple as me sending a response email saying, slide 2, please add.
Okay.
And then you go in and implement the information.
Okay, great. Yeah. I think that's a workable solution for me. So with that, I think we're kind of wrapping up here tonight. I definitely want to say thank you to both of you for all of the hard work and input that you have put into this project. So thank you formally.
Yeah, thank you guys. You too, Rob, Lori. Thank you guys very much.
So,
definitely thanks to both of you. You've made my team experience easy.
Yeah.
Likewise, Lori. Likewise, for sure. So I'm going to just wrap it up tonight by kind of agreeing that I'll do the PowerPoint. Look for something from me in the next few days. Give me a couple days. unfortunately got another full plate this weekend. So I'll try to get something done as quickly as possible, but it may be as late as Monday before I have something back to you. But I'll try to get something put together quickly.
Okay.
All right, guys.
That sounds good.
So everything looks good. I think we did a fantastic job, and I will look forward to being in touch with you throughout the next few days.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thanks, guys. Good
All right.
night.
Okay,
Great
have a
night.
good evening.
You too.
Good night.
Bye.